public officers, as we know them, just like all citizens, have the right to choose the educational setting that they feel is best for their children. However, it is common for governments to encourage or mandate public servants to send their children to public schools as the way to support and demonstrate the value of these institutions. Whether or not public officers should be compelled to keep their children in public schools is a matter of debate and can depend on various factors. Today, we invite you to that debate. And first of all, let's bring you this story from Mamprobi in the heart of the capital, Accra, which reveals the poor state of education in Ghana today. My colleague, James Aveji, found this report. Read to you.
Over the past few days, we have seen stories of the very sorry state of some schools in the rural areas of the country. Apparently, the problem is not limited to the hinterland. It is rife in the heart of the national capital as well. Here at the Mamprobi Sempe Junior High School, comprising Sempe 1 Basic School, Mamprobi, Ebenezer 4 JHS and Sempe 2 JHS. The school looks pale with dusty, rusty roofing sheet which leaks profusely anytime it rains. The buildings here are hanging on limping exposed pillars which threaten to fall anytime soon. School authorities say they have to seek asylum in this never completing get fund building. That's not all. The school is also exposed to the public as almost half of the fence walls housing the school already gone. The remaining wall is also on the verge of collapsing. The school currently does not have any washroom for both teachers and pupils. But the mayor of Accra, Elizabeth Saki, says an ongoing washroom project will soon be completed to resolve the challenge.
I'm happy to see the wash project being I think we've had about 80% of the work done, which is a good initiative, and it's a good plus to the minister for seeing to it that this is being done.
The situation is not different at the Mamprobi North 1 Basic School. Among several of the problems is the absence of a computer library for the hundreds of pupils. The headmistress of the school, Rita Oseajeman, highlights some of the challenges.
The major one I will mention of is the roofing system. You see, it's an iron used amidst the breeze. So corrosion has taken place and we have holes in all over the place. When it rains, the rain comes directly into the classrooms, which affects learning. When it starts raining, we have to close up and go home. This has affected almost everything in the school. The electricals are affected, the ceilings are off. And to add to it, our computer lab, we cannot use it because the effects is on the electricals too. If you don't take care, it will cause a very big problem to the children. So these are some of the problems, and all the woodworks in the school, due to the rains, they are all peeling off. So these are some of the challenges. We can't use our cupboards because they are all off. The wood, everything is off from the cupboard. We have some in good shape, which we can use. Even last term, a company came to donate 5 brand new computers. We cannot mount them due to this problem. So some are in good shape. If the place is in session, we can have some to use. Yeah. You're welcome.
Addressing these infrastructure challenges, the mayor, Elizabeth Saki, promised that the assembly is looking for resources to fix them as she appealed to corporate Ghana to come on board.
And then I also want to plead with all the corporate entities, thank you, that's it, the corporate entities, so that at least they can come on with their social responsibility, which I believe strongly that will help to enhance all that we have seen.
The tour resumes next week to check on the state of roads in Accra. James Kwesi Aveji's report for Joy News.
Also, in the wake of the numerous complaints about the quality and state of education, we begin that conversation this afternoon. Must public office holders be compelled to give their children the education they give to persons, same in public institutions? Joining us now on Zoom is Dr. Peter Anti, Parte, Executive Director for the Institute for Education Studies. Thank you, sir, for your time. That debate has come up where there's mounting pressure that at least let's pass policy measures that will ensure that politicians, of course, take their wards to public institutions. Will that be a feasible way of ensuring that we get quality education in the country?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your viewers. My approach to policy formulation is that we first have to ask ourselves, what problem are we trying to solve? And the problem is technically the poor state of infrastructure and resources in basic schools. Now, if we want to solve that problem, what are the various alternatives available to us? Are we saying that the most feasible and best alternative is to ask public officials to send their wards to the same public schools that all of us our kids are enjoying? Well, I don't think trying to legalize this is the way to go. I think maybe they have the moral responsibility to do that, and more so in our social system where the education of the child does not rest with only one person in the family. You have maybe the mother also having a say in the type of school that the ward is supposed to attend, or the father having a say. So are you saying that in the case whereby the public official is a woman, the father would have to still kowtow to the decision to send the ward to a public school because the wife is a public official, or the other way around, because the husband is a public official, the wife will have to agree to send the ward to a public school? I think it's going to be something difficult to get it to be implemented. Again, even if we are able to do that, we should note that most at times these public schools in the urban settings, most at times some of them are in good shape. You once in a while see one or two of these public schools not having the needed infrastructure and other resources, but in most cases you will see a lot of them having the needed infrastructure and resources. So if you compel the public official to send the ward to a school in the urban center, he will make sure that in that particular district or in that particular place, that whatever it is that the students are supposed to enjoy, he will make sure that the students get that. But how do you compel him to push those things to the rural settings, to those deprived communities? How do you compel him to do that? So I feel that it's a moral obligation on them. If they decide to send their wards to those schools, that is a moral obligation. But then it is duty bound on them when they are elected or selected or appointed to head public institutions in terms of the education sector. It is duty bound on them to treat each and every ward fairly in terms of distribution of educational resources. And when they are not able to do that, we hold them accountable, and we either force that they vacate the position or they are removed by the appointing authority. I think that is the way to go. But compelling them to send their wards to the same public schools like all of us might not lead to the solution that we are looking for.
Very often the comparative analysis is being made to what happens elsewhere.
Well, I've heard and I've read that in certain cases, in certain jurisdictions, that is the norm, that you are supposed to, or your wards are supposed to be in the public education system. But then you can even switch it to other sectors, the health sector. How many times do we see our politicians, our big men, going to the same hospitals or clinics that we all visit? So in our part of the world, this is something that is going to be very difficult to enforce, and that's why I said that my way of looking at policy proposition is to ask myself, how would this alternative or this solution that people are proposing, how will it lead to that kind of solution that we want? And is that the only feasible alternative that we have? If there are other alternatives that can be explored, I think we should go for that. And of course, make this a moral something on the public official, because it's going to be difficult for us to get the public officials to obey this kind of legislation if we want to go that tangent. We know our politicians, their wives don't give birth in Ghana. they don't attend hospital in Ghana, and all these things. So if you are going to add education to where, you know that definitely they will not obey this rule, and what's use or what's the essence of a regulation when it is not going to be obeyed or respected by those who are supposed to respect and obey them.
Grateful. Dr. Peter Antic is with iFirst.